I don't know why people want to risk their freedom. You know, well, you're saying yes, ma'am, but that's what you're doing. You're risking your freedom for marijuana. You're risking your freedom for CBD oil. You're risking your freedom for not telling them where you live.
Judgment's strong, in and out, the verdict swung. Oouchie Car Watch, we've just begun. Oouchie Car Watch, we're on the scene. Truth's unraveling, what does it mean?
Brandon Reese. Who's the attorney for Brandon Reese? All right, everyone, the court is recessing at 10:45. If your attorneys are not here, you need to call them.
Judge, this is first setting, I've talked to the state, we both need to do just a little bit of, looking into a couple of things, little discovery.
All right.
And probably when we come back, hopefully we'll be able to resolve it.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you set this for discovery, a 30-day reset, please?
I can do the 23rd.
What?
January 23rd.
No, I'll be in trial that week.
Okay.
22nd to 29th, I have a trial. I can do it the week before or the week after.
I can do the 18th.
You know, that would work.
All right, we'll be back on January 18th for discovery. All right, thank you. Brandon Reese.
One less is a trial. 27.
Okay, if you'll come forward. Norma, let's recall this for the week of February 5th. All right, we're going to bring you back on February 5th. Your attorney is currently in a jury trial.
Okay.
And like the song goes, he can't be in two places at the same time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I know you know that song. Zach does not. All right, just sign the reset form, then your excuse.
Is that for discovery compliance, Judge?
Yes,
Can you give me the date again? I'm sorry.
it'll be the 5th of February. All right, who is on Brandon Reese? And then after Brandon Reese, it will be Terrence Bowie. And on this one too, Adriana, I'll need to know the court costs. Court is calling 2023 CR 10131, State of Texas versus Brandon Anthony Reese. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ron Ross for the defense.
Are you Mr. Reese? Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Excuse me. Mr. Hicks. Hi. If you need to talk to her, she needs to go to the other end because we're on the record. We're back on the record. Mr. Reese, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
We are, Your Honor.
Mr. Reese, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of felony in possession of a weapon? That is a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Reese, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Sure. Going to show you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There's a $500 fine. State recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
It is, Judge.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by citing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you outside the agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 4 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 160 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
Yes, Your Honor. I offer State's Exhibit 1 and the attachments.
Defense has no objection.
All right, state you may continue to confer. Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes.
Yes, we'd like to, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
He's got one prior felony. It was back in 2011. It wasn't a weapons charge. It was evading, I think. And I don't think he has any other felony cases. He understands that if he messes up, he's going to go to prison. He doesn't want to go to prison. I would just ask you to accept the plea bargain agreement. Go ahead and sentence him to give him the 4 years probation.
All right, how many children do you have?
I have 2.
What are their ages?
One is 10, one is 7.
Are you involved in their life?
CPS, they took them like a long time ago.
Okay. Do you have any other children on the way? All right, what's up with the tattoo on the neck and all of that?
It's a Ferragamo symbol.
All right.
It's a Ferragamo.
All right, we know where we are, don't we? Because nobody's just putting symbols around just to, oh, I like this brand.
Yeah, it's just Ferragamo.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that brand.
Yeah. Mhm. Nobody likes a brand that much to put it on their body. It amazes me, people who are not from San Antonio, when they see people with all the San Antonio Spurs, they're like, oh my gosh, they must really be into their team to put a spur on their head. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. When's the last time you had employment?
Well, I do temp. I also do like referral, like Medicare, health insurance referral. Yeah.
What do you mean you do referrals?
So I refer health insurance, like Medicaid, like low.
Oh, are these the
Like for
people
people
who
that can't get it, like it's Medicaid insurance. So every person that I do refer that signs up, he pays me for.
So have you been
Medicaid?
So are you
it's
calling
like
them on the
0
phone?
down, and you probably have to pay too much. So you can go to like a pharmacy, you know what I'm saying, and
So do you call these people on the phone?
I goes around and find them and ask them, do they want?
So you're not
Health insurance.
responsible for the spam calls I receive from that? Okay. So when you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I probably dirty. I am.
Okay, see,
I
you
am.
got to be honest with me right
I am.
now, because now's the time to let me know everything.
I am.
All right, what are you gonna be dirty for?
Marijuana.
What else?
That's it. That's all I do. That's all I do.
Well, you can't do that anymore.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, what's the court cost in this? All right, so the court costs in this case are approximately $325. Are you able to pay that off in installments?
Yes.
Okay. So the court is going to sentence you to 4 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 5 years. There's a $500 fine that will be probated. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. How far did you go in school?
To the 10th grade.
Why? Why didn't you graduate? I tell people this all the time. You know what's a shame? School here is free. I've seen some documentaries where little children, elementary school children, they have to walk to go to school. And Lawrence O'Donnell has this thing, and I try to send donations to him. It's called Kids in Need of Desks. And you know what that is?
Need what?
Kids, KIDS, in need of desks, DESKS. And you know what it is? There's a country, and I want to say it's on the continent of Africa. It may be Malawi. They do not have desks for students to sit at. So they sit on the floor. And the floor, it's not carpeted. It's just a dirt floor. And so what he did, he said, you know what? These children need desks. So the donations go to this company that's there. So the people in the village, the men will have a job. They make desks for the students, and then the desks go to those students. And you know, those students who don't have electricity, don't have running water, some of them now, they've gone back. They are now doctors. And here in America, you will have people who come here, don't even speak the English language. Next thing you know who the valedictorian or first in class is? Somebody who came in here and didn't speak the language. I don't know what's wrong with people dropping out of school and acting like it's too hard. And since it's Black History Month, slaves were not even allowed to read. And here you are, don't have any barriers to going to school. And I'm sure if you needed a uniform, they would have paid for it, but you don't even need a uniform. You just show up. And guess what? That school in Malawi, they don't even get to go there and have breakfast and lunch and dinner and all of that. So there is absolutely no excuse. So other than hustling to get people to sign up for Medicaid, Medicare, because I'm not going to allow that, what skills do you have to make money?
I know how to do a lot of things.
Well, you're going to have to do it. And how much is that necklace?
It's a little nigga. It's a silver little necklace, probably like
I
silver
know.
necklace.
And the
That's probably like
earrings
about
and the teeth.
$50 or something like that.
Okay.
Silver.
All right. So
Typical.
there's going to be no harm for injurious contact with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, the UA hotline, test him for levels, proof of employment, and with the employment, he can no longer do what he's doing now. You're going to have to do something else.
That's right.
I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. We can do a TAP evaluation out of custody. Follow TAP recommendations. We'll start with intensive outpatient treatment, field visits, 1 time per month for 5 months, do the gang evaluation. Of course, if the Ferragamo comes back with what I think it's going to come back, then you all probably won't need to do the field visits for one time a month. The gang supervision will handle that. There's going to be 180 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you are in some type, if you obtain your GED, or if you obtain some sort of certificate for a trade. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And I know that when people have been to prison, it's hard to get trades or do this. But when I was a defense attorney, I had clients who would go to prison, they would get out and they would become, what is it called? Welders, because there's a big need for welders. And being in prison did not stop them from being able to do that. All right, probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Oh, ma'am.
All right, last thing I'm gonna add is no unsupervised contact with minors. And let me just tell you the reason why I'm doing that. Because I know that you need to take care of yourself before you try to be in a relationship with somebody where they have young children. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Brandon Reese. Good morning. Yes.
On each one, there's 118 days. Oh, on this one.
All right. So have you read the supplemental report? Everyone, please whisper.
Oh,
Have you read the supplemental report and discovered what the probation has complaints about?
Oh, she just told me, but I have, you said I haven't gave her my address, but
I'm sorry, what?
you said I haven't gave her my address for where I stay. I haven't given.
All right, so why does it take you having to come in for you to give them their address?
I have.
No, you're here because you would not give it, and according to this, it says CSO inquired about the address and he declined, stating he didn't want her family in his business.
No, I didn't say that. I have it here, right here. I sent it way July 9th that I sent her my address.
Yeah, so here's the thing. You're looking at 4 years in prison. You're continuing to test positive, according to this. So you need to ask yourself, is marijuana worth going to prison for 4 years? If it is, there's always accommodations for people to be at the prison for marijuana. And let me explain something to you. I know people will say marijuana is not a big deal. Oh, I can continue to smoke marijuana. Here's the thing. These are the rules. This is the law. In Texas, marijuana is not legal. The only way you can use marijuana if there is a doctor's prescription. And even then you have to use it within the prescribed parameters that they're giving you. And you're testing for more than marijuana. And if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? See, okay, here's the thing. I can go send you to do a UA right now, and you want to weigh your things that it's going to be negative and tell me this. If it's positive, I can just tell them to file a motion to revoke. And then you know what will end up happening with a motion to revoke? What will end up happening is you will be taken into custody. Either you will make bond or you won't make bond. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're telling me your results are going to be negative?
Yeah.
Now now we're moving around from they should.
I haven't given
When's the last time you used?
It's probably about one, month and a half.
Oh, if you used a month and
But
a
that
half
was a
ago, it should be
CBD, it was a
negative.
CBD, it's like a CBD
Mm.
that I bought from the store. I didn't know. it
See,
was-
now no. I don't know why people want to risk their freedom. You know, well, you're saying yes, ma'am, but that's what you're doing. You're risking your freedom for marijuana. You're risking your freedom for CBD oil. You're risking your freedom for not telling them where you live. You're risking your freedom for not being at home for home visits. Probation is not easy. Probation is not supposed to be easy because guess what? You're on probation because you broke the law. And I know people will complain, I have to report to probation. This is so hard. Guess what? You broke the law. That's why probation is hard. Probation is not supposed to be easy. Probation is supposed to rehabilitate you. Probation being easy is not for you because you're on probation and you broke the law. So you have choices in your life. You can go to prison, and guess what? The most you can get is 4 years. You go to prison maybe for 4 years. Maybe you'll be out in 2, maybe longer. Who knows? They'll tell you when to wake up. They'll give you food to eat. Either your family will put money on your books for you to have a decent meal, or either you're going to have your bologna sandwich. What do they call those meals, Deputy Laura?
Johnny?
You can either have your Johnny, or either your parents will, or somebody, or your girlfriend will put money on your books. So why can you not complete this probation?
I completed. I completed.
Probation, what does he need?
Judge, a TAP evaluation was completed just recently, and the recommendations of the TAP is intensive outpatient treatment, monthly urinalysis, and documented sober support meetings. I would like to talk to Mr. Reese a little bit more so that maybe if there was some miscommunication in regards to the addresses, I can get that cleared up so that we can go ahead and conduct the field visits as mandated.
All right, this is what the court is gonna do. There's gonna be, I'm gonna follow the recommendation of TAP. There's gonna be intensive outpatient treatment, and there's gonna be 120 sober meetings in 120 days. Are you employed?
No, I'm not. I'm looking, I did my trade, so I'm looking for my forklift job now. So I don't have a trade.
So here's the thing. How long have you been without employment?
I think about 2 or 3 weeks.
All right, so while you're waiting for another job to come around, you're gonna have to get employment outside of your field because you're an adult, you have to eat. Nobody else should be supporting you. You understand? All right, is there anything else you need from the court? Probation, is there anything else?
No, Judge, but did you want me to do anything with the monthly rate?
We're gonna do. You know what? Once he tests negative, patch him. And then we'll see what happens. So we'll do regular random UAs. And then, and make sure they test for levels. And then once he's negative, then patch.
Until further notice?
Yes. All right, anything else? All right, thank you. Do better, you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I will.
You should be thinking that, you know what, you have a key in your pocket to the prison. And you can either use that key to open it or not. And you should put a key in your pocket, and every time you look at that key and you see all those CBD places, you need to ask yourself, hey, I have a key. Do I want to use it to go to prison? It's completely up to you. You understand? All right, good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oouchie Court Watch, we're on the scene. Truths unravel, and what does it mean? In the halls where stories clash, Oouchie Court Watch, quick as a flash.